now we are learning fourth module, okay, classes and objects. The textbook for this module is Think Python 2. Textbook for this module is Think Python 2. Okay, you can see this textbook from the online freely. If you want to see this textbook, you can download from the online freely. Think Python, how to think like a computer scientist. Okay, then this textbook is authored by Alan Downey. Alan Downey is the author of the textbook. Okay, second edition version 2.4.0 for your fourth module. If you go to class and object, which is at chapter 15. Chapter 15. Okay, now what is class and object? You know that class is a programmer defined data type. Class is a programmer defined data type. For example, in Python, if you are going to create a class by name point, you know that the points are represented by x and y coordinates. Therefore, the attributes of the class becomes x and y. In Python, how to create the class? To create the class in the Python, you have to give class, then a class name. For example, point is the class name here, and then followed by colon. And here, this is the multi-line comment. Either you can write, or if you don't write also, it is okay. Then here you can see the object diagram of the class. The class point having two attributes x and y, which is initialized to value 3.0 and 4.0, and blank is the object of the class. Now, if you are going to display the class name by just giving the class name in the console, then it displays type of the class, that is class, then it belongs to main. Okay, and full name of the class is main.point. Okay, if you are going to create the object of the class, then you can use object name equal to class name open bracket close bracket, and then if you are going to display the object, then it displays the result in this way, which indicates this object is belong to the main class and address of the object. Okay, now object is called instance of the class. Object is called as instance of the class. Okay, now what are the attributes? Attributes are nothing but what properties you are going to use with the class. For example, with the object blank, okay, blank object having x and y attribute, okay, and object and attributes are separated with the dot. Object and attributes are separated with the dots. Okay, blank dot x equals 3.0, blank dot y equal to 4.0, and then once you assign some value to the attributes, then you can use those attributes in the program. Okay, for example, here you are going to display blank dot y, it displays 4.0, and you are going to assign blank dot x to a normal variable x, and when you are going to display x, it displays its value 3.0. Okay, and you can also display the attributes of the object in this form. For example, %e, %g, and then the percentage blank dot x, then blank dot y as a part of any expression. It displays 3.0 and 4.0 in the single quote, because here you are going to display it in the single quote. And then you can also use attribute of the object in this way. It is going to find out square of the blank dot x and square of the blank dot y, and it's finding the square root and storing to distance variable, and distance variable you are going to display, it displays it as 5.0. 0. Okay, you can also use the object as parameter of the function. For example, in the print function as a user defined function, print point function, define print point function. Here you are going to display p dot x and p dot y, okay, as %g and %g in a single quote, which displays the value of p dot x and p dot y after you call print point function. Okay, print point function, and you are going to pass the object blank. It receive it as p, and p dot x and p dot y are attribute of now blank dot x and blank dot y, where you are displaying by using print. Okay, when you call print point function with the blank object, it displays 3.4 and 3.0 and 4.0. Now we see practically how to create the class. Okay, how to create the class in Python. To create the class in Python, okay, we are going to write the comment line. Okay, this is classes and objects program. Classes and object program. Okay, now class has to be created by using the keyword class and then class name point, and here you are going to write a multi-line comment which represent this is class definition. Okay, this is class definition. Now when you are going to use attribute of the class, you have to first create the object of the class. To create the object of the class, object name is blank, blank equal to class name. Class name is point with the open bracket and close bracket. You should keep in remember this open bracket and close bracket when you create the class. Okay, and then to use the attribute of the class, now blank is the object name, dot what's the attribute name, for example x, if you are going to use x, okay, store some value, okay, and then blank dot y equal to store some value. Okay, now in this way you can store value into the attributes. Okay, now you can use it. Okay, you can use it. For example, if you are going to print directly the class name, okay, and if you run, it is going to display this output. Class is belong to main. Okay, and if you are going to print object name is blank. Okay, object name is blank with the print function, then it displays this object is at this address. If you are going to display the attributes, you have to display in this way: print blank dot x and blank dot y. Print blank dot y. This way you can print attributes of the objects. Okay, now consider this object diagram. For example, there is a rectangle class with width and height which are having the value 100 and 200. There is one more attribute of the rectangle class, that is corner, but it is of type point. Therefore, see, corner is of type point class, and it's now when the corner is of type point class, corner can access x and y attributes. The object of the rectangle is box. Okay, now how to work with this kind of object diagram? First you have to create a rectangle class by using class rectangle, and the attributes are width, height, corner. This is as a multi-line comment we are indicating. Now here if you are going to create the object of the rectangle, you have to use object name equal to rectangle class name. Okay, then box dot width you are assigning 100, box dot height you are assigning 200, and then box dot corner is of type point class. Therefore box dot corner equal to point open bracket close bracket. You are creating box dot corner in this way. Okay, box dot corner equal to point open bracket close bracket. Then box dot corner dot x, how to access the attributes x and y. Box dot corner dot x equal to 0.0, box dot corner dot y equal to 0.0. You are assigning 0.0 to both attributes of corner, okay, x and y. Now here you are accessing the corner, you are accessing x and y attribute of the point class using corner object, and corner object belongs to box object. Okay, now how to work with such type of object diagram. For example, this type of object diagram that we see practically. Okay, here we already created point class. Okay, and we already created object of the point class. Now we are going to create the rectangle class. Okay, to create rectangle class name is rectangle. Okay, and multiline comment if you want you can give to indicate attributes are width, height and corner. Now you have to create object of rectangle class. The object of rectangle class, for example, box equal to rectangle open bracket close bracket. Okay, this way you can create object of rectangle class. Now box dot width of the box to 100 pixel, and then box dot height of the box is 300 pixel. Now box dot corner is of type point class. Therefore you have to indicate it as of type point class. Then you can access attributes of point class by using box dot corner dot x equal to, okay, some value you can assign. Okay, 10. Then box dot corner dot y equal to 20. This way x and y values you can assign. Okay, and now if you are going to display both the objects attributes, for example, here print box dot corner dot x, then print box dot corner dot y. Okay, box dot corner dot x and box dot corner dot y. Display, it is going to display 10 and 20 as the output. Okay, this way you can access attribute of point object, okay, or point class by using corner object, and which is belongs to box object, and box is of type rectangle class. Okay, in this way you can use nested objects.